Welcome into the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Chase Senior. Coming your way on today's show, I answer all of your 49ers news and rumors-related questions. It's already been a fascinating offseason for San Francisco. A lot of trade rumors, Jimmy Garoppolo injury, free agency kicking off in just a couple of weeks, NFL draft at the end of April. We have you covered. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. First question in this mailbag coming in from the homie, Wet Noodle 187. What do you think about our new coaches? A lot of new coaches and a lot of coaches who are departing Kyle Shanahan's coaching staff. I mean, the overturn that you've seen on Shanahan's coaching staff has been actually pretty crazy. Lost your offensive coordinator, Mike McDaniel, going to the Dolphins as the next head coach. Rich Scangarello going to Kentucky to be their offensive coordinator. Formerly the quarterback's coach for the Niners. You lost your tight ends coach. You lost your special teams coach. Bobby Turner, one of the most legendary running backs coach in the history of the NFL, is set to retire. His recent work with Elijah Mitchell this past year was phenomenal and really the icing on the cake for what he was able to do throughout his illustrious coaching career. It's a big loss for the Niners, but that's also why the addition of Anthony Lynn is so important for this team. For Bobby Turner, his most recent work, turning Elijah Mitchell, a 6th-round pick out of Louisiana, a guy who so many people had overlooked during the draft process, into a top 5 running back in terms of rushing yards per game, and Eli did not fumble one time all year as a rookie with a lot of carries. That can all be credited to Bobby Turner, who it seemed like every time he had his hands on a running back, he turned that running back into a very productive player. It's viral with this. What corner do you think we're most likely to pick up? J.C. Jackson or Stephon Gilmore? Maybe even make a trade for Xavien Howard. What do you think? I think J.C. Jackson is unrealistic. He's still in his mid to late 20s. I think he's going to demand around $100 million on the open market. I think Stephon Gilmore is more realistic because he's going to take less money for a shorter amount of time, and the financial obligations and ramifications will not be as severe or steep as J.C. Jackson. Xavien Howard, he's more happy with the situation in Miami than he was going into last year. He is under contract, but still very handsomely paid. I think in order, most realistic to the most unrealistic, it goes Stephon Gilmore, Xavien Howard, then J.C. Jackson. It's viral. I appreciate that question. It's a very good one, and there's no doubt moving forward during the NFL offseason, it's going to be important and imperative for the 49ers to address secondary, whether that be in the NFL draft or in free agency. If you could pick a cornerback among those three who we just talked about, producer Jeremy, just killing the game right now. Type JJ for J.C. Jackson, SG for Stephon Gilmore, XH for X-Man Xavien Howard. Get those votes in. This will be the pinned comment on today's mailbag. So if you get hit with that YouTube ad break, perfect opportunity for you to scroll on down and get those votes in. Next question coming in from Jimmo Gorilla. We'll get to that maybe here in a little while, but let's first get to this one and pivot to this one from Ellis10. I'm not a Jimmy G hater at all, but it's just true that he didn't throw a touchdown in the postseason until his 3rd game, and one of his touchdowns was a screen pass. No, you're right. I mean, the touchdown pass to Deebo Samuel, it was a quick hitter to the right, and Deebo did the rest. 45 yards to the crib, in which he was elusive and displayed some really impressive breakaway speed. As I've always said about Jimmy G, from a statistical standpoint, he's never going to blow you away and put up monster, crazy numbers. But from a leadership standpoint, from him being clutch at the end of games in the 2-minute drills, for him being a leader of a football team and him being a relatable and likable guy, like those things are very important. Those things are valuable for a quarterback. Most importantly, he's won a bunch of games and he's helped lead his teams to 2 NFC Championship games in 3 years and a Super Bowl appearance a couple of years ago back in 2019. So he does have value, but no, he's not going to light the world on fire and blow you away with stats like a Josh Allen, a Patrick Mahomes, or a Matthew Stafford, or some of the elite quarterbacks in the NFL. You know who's really elite and outside of quarterbacks, in my opinion, the most valuable offensive player in the NFL? Deebo Samuel. And right now, you can get this Deebo shirt available on sale for just $35, limited time only if you go to chatsports.com/Deebo. This is really fresh, and I kind of hope that the 49ers at some point rock those black and scarlet red jerseys, but this is a Nike shirt supporting Deebo, showing off the colors, showing off one of the best players in the NFL, coming off one of the best seasons that we have ever seen. You can get it right now by plugging in that link down below, thanks to our friends at Fanatics, today's presenting sponsor. Just go to chatsports.com/Deebo, get hooked up today. Joshua Swanson, do you think that Ambry Thomas will start at cornerback in 2022? I do think he's going to start. It's really going to depend on what the 49ers do in free agency as well as the NFL draft. Like, if they bring in a Stephon Gilmore, I think Ambry Thomas can still start, but I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't start. But look, Stephon Gilmore, Ambry Thomas, those are two really good cornerbacks, but what do you do with Emmanuel Moseley and K'Wan Williams? Now, of course, it depends on what the 49ers do in free agency. Addressing defensive back, they could even bring back a Jason Verrett. Kyle Shanahan has raved about his character. The injury issues with him are certainly glaring, especially coming off that torn ACL, the second of his career. But yeah, Ambry Thomas, no doubt, has an opportunity to start, and I love the team-building approach of having cornerbacks on their rookie contracts so you don't have to pay that much money too, especially when they show signs of growth like Ambry Thomas did last year. Right around that Titans game on Thursday Night Football, started to play really well. Was good against the Texans, was good against the Rams, was good in the playoffs. Ambry Thomas is a good player. I'm really high on his potential. What do you think? Will Ambry Thomas start next year in 2022, in year 2, in his sophomore campaign? Let me know in the comments section if you envision him being a starter on the outside for DeMeco Ryans' defense. Timothy Smith, do you think we should have gotten rid of Jimmy earlier since injury prone? Maybe hard to get off of him now, praying he's off the team. I hope he's off the team as well for a couple of reasons. I want to see what Trey Lance can do. I think Trey Lance deserves every single rep this offseason. And by getting rid of Jimmy Garoppolo, you free up $26 million on your salary cap, which allows you to address other needs in free agency and or sign Deebo Samuel and Nick Bosa going into the final years of their rookie contracts. Those two are building blocks for the Niners. Jonathan, do you feel Bobby Turner's retirement will make the running back room regress, maybe a Lynn takeover? So I think Kyle Shanahan looked at the writing on the wall and he's like, okay, I'm probably going to lose Mike McDaniel, our offensive coordinator, to the Miami Dolphins. And even though McDaniel didn't call plays, that's Kyle Shanahan's duty, it's a big loss because of his creativity and what he did in the ground game. And Bobby Turner probably told him after the year, hey, Kyle, I'm most likely going to retire. A couple of years ago, Bobby Turner, I think, had like double knee surgery. I think he's getting something similar done this offseason. And the guy's in his 70s. He's accomplished so much as a running backs coach. You lose him and you replace McDaniel and Turner with Anthony Lynn, former head coach, former running backs coach, has familiarity with the Shanahan tree and scheme because he played for Mike Shanahan, won a couple of Super Bowls with him in the late 90s with the Denver Broncos, and is revered as a running back guru as well. So to move on from Bobby Turner and lose Mike McDaniel and basically replace them both with a combination of Anthony Lynn, it's a big get for Kyle Shanahan's coaching staff. Medulla Oblongata, $5 super chat. Thinking about getting a custom Deebo Samuel jersey. I like the Deebo on the back better than the Samuel. Thoughts? It's not a bad idea. Deebo 19 on the back nameplate, that could be pretty fire. That could be pretty dope. Medulla, I think you're on to something there. Thank you so much for that $5 super chat. $2 super chat coming in from Puffin. If you're in California, you're probably puffing on something. Jimmy could be here for another year. Trey not ready. Look, Adam Schefter said last week, Jimmy Garoppolo not a lock to be traded. He breaks the injury news that Garoppolo has to undergo shoulder surgery and said in that report, the belief is that Garoppolo is going to get traded this month as we kick off March, and he's expected to have a lot of interest on the trade market. So I think Jimmy's going to get traded. I just think it would be football malpractice to bring him back. One, he's a limited quarterback from a skill set perspective. Two, $26 million on your salary cap. that prohibits you from signing a Deebo Samuel or a Nick Bosa to a contract extension and addressing other needs on this roster right now. So I don't think the Niners are going to bring back Jimmy Garoppolo here in 2022. I think it's imminent that he gets dealt somewhere. What's your confidence level in Trey Lance if he is the starter in 2022? Scale it for me from 1 to 10. 1, not confident in the dude at all. 10, very, very confident in Trey Lance. Let me know. Chime into the comments section, and we'll move forward with this mailbag. John, my newlywed wife didn't watch football, let alone Niner football, until we met, but Deebo was her favorite 49ers player. If I were to never watch football ever, and I were to turn on a football game and see Deebo Samuel as a wide back, catching passes and taking it to the crib, lining up as a running back, taking pitches to the house, the 45-yard catch and run against the Rams in the NFC Championship game, the physicality in which he plays with, the joy in which he exudes, I'd become a football fan as well, and I'd want a Deebo Samuel jersey. I think he's the most valuable offensive player in the NFL outside of quarterbacks. That's a good story too, by the way, John. Jonathan Lamont with another question. Would it be interesting if Talanoa Hufanga doubled as a running back if he does not stick with his position spot? I don't think Talanoa Hufanga is going to play running back. I think what you'll see is positional versatility on defense, which is what you saw this past year as a rookie. I liked him coming out of USC because he could play multiple positions, and that's why I liked him this past year in his rookie campaign. When Tart went out, he filled in at safety. He could play a little linebacker. He was active in the box on some blitz packages as well and against the run. Players who you get late, you don't have to pay much money to, who can play multiple positions on defense and contribute on special teams, have so much value. So Talanoa Hufanga is a player I like coming out of USC, and he's a player who is controlled because of his contract, who I really like going into next year as well. So I think he has a lot of potential and value on this team because of his positional versatility. Justin Cox, what is up with the 49ers schedule? So the opponents are out, but the specific dates for the games are not yet set. So all of the dates are TBA. I'll run through the opponents, though. Washington Commanders, Arizona Cardinals, Atlanta Falcons, Carolina Panthers, Denver Broncos, Las Vegas Raiders, Los Angeles Rams, Arizona Cardinals, Rams, Seahawks, New Orleans Saints, Tampa Bay Bucks, Kansas City Chiefs, Los Angeles Chargers, Seattle Seahawks, Chicago Bears, Miami Dolphins. So the Niners will be taking on the AFC West this year. And of course, those divisional games, 2 of them for each team in the division. If you think the Niners will win the division next year, show me. Show up, show out, let your voices be heard by hitting that thumbs up icon and liking the video. Here at the 49ers Report, kind of act as though like we're a sports radio call-in line by getting into the comment section and liking the video. So if you think the Niners will win the division next year, hit that thumbs up icon, like the video, and thanks so much for watching today's Mailbag right here on the San Francisco 49ers Report by Chat Sports.